Hey everyone, welcome to the vlog and also welcome to Anything Goes with the Bonnies. This is actually my podcast with my husband Joe, which simulates the feeling of our regular kwentuhan in the living room. Today's episode is the second part of our unfinished business in a recent vlog that we made for our anniversary. Hope you also get to check it out. Now, on to the podcast.
Let's go on to our topic of the day.
Okay, so the topic of the day, just a little background, is actually picking up from a vlog that we did for our anniversary. So we turned 13. That's another thing that got us busy for January. Laging maraming events kasi.
Yeah.
Well, one, we got a dog. So the dog kept us busy. And then Philip turned 9. And then we turned 13. So I realized that, Januaries are always going to be like a busy month for us pala for like all the rest of our life. Anyway, so we turned 13. And what we did for the vlog was to answer dapat 13 questions. Pero kasi madaldal kami, as you would all know on the podcast, no? 6 lang yung inabot namin. So we said we'd continue the other half of the questions and answer them right now here on this episode. So we've got 7 to go.
And this is something we started doing during the pandemic. It's kind of like those ask one another questions things. So there's so many you can find online. And so we'll share the links in the show notes of the ones we got. But what we say is, I'll ask you this, whatever question I choose to ask you, I have to answer as well.
Baka
13.
dapat yung mga 3 questions dyan, math questions na lang. Para
Okay.
yung walang masyadong room for essay.
Ikaw na, you choose.
You wanna choose first? Go muna.
How have we changed in the past 12 months?
I think one is that, you know how we're so different but also so alike in some areas. Like, sinasabi nga namin lagi na the hard thing about us as parents is that prior to our change or transformation as, like more gentle. I'm not saying we're completely gentle right now as parents. We still have to work on that a lot, but we definitely are gentler. So yun yung isang change namin na we're gentler not only as parents but even as people and as a couple to each other. We're gentler on the whole, and I say that because kami yung klase ng tao nga na parang, di ba, may good cop, bad cop. Kami bad cop, bad cop. Sobrang kawawa yung mga tao sa amin na parang, do you need a hug? O sige, email mo kami for a schedule. Yung ganon. Medyo sobrang severely tough and whether anything, don't get emotional kind of people kasi kami. So we're super the same on that. And we've changed in that we are gentler now.
I think another thing that we're different in, I think we're much more honest now. Because, not that we've been lying a lot in the years before that, but we had so many filters and so many assumptions and so many ideological things that filtered reality for us. So, Joe and Carla both want to do X. But someone somewhere said X is not wise if you're like this. And we just, someone said it. Alam mo, we would stick to those things instead of like, wait a minute, what does God say? What's going on between us? Okay ba sa atin? Ganun na lang. Alam mo yun? And because of all the knowledge siguro, all the books, all of the...
Yeah, I was gonna say, it kind of like highlights our personalities, like as individuals, and then when you put us together na parang, all the more. Kasi pareho tayong ganun. We're very theoretical, ideological, philosophical. Hina natin sa practical.
Yeah.
You can just imagine how we would always do something that is correct or like ideal on paper, even if it doesn't really work.
And we would try to
on the
make
practical
it
level.
all fit kasi on every level. Because nga, you've read literature books, we've read theological books, Christian living books, parenting books, marriage books. And so, it's like we have to run through our whole shared library for something to pass. And that's just books. What about documentaries we watch, diba? Or mentors we have, or talks we listen to, or ministers we subscribe to. Kailangan pumasa lahat yun yung ginagawa natin. Whether it's a vacation or a hobby, diba? Something our kids like doing, diba? Our kid wants to get into this intellectual property, diba? Parang, sabi ni kasi ganyan. Ano naman yung dami nating ganyan? So, it's tiring. And it's so much simpler to be like, what does God say? What does God want? To focus on the heart. And a huge part of that is being honest nga. Na, ayoko eh.
Yeah.
Hindi nga okay yan eh, diba? Or malulugi tayo dyan. Diyan na tayo dumiretso. It's fun. One way to describe it is like when you close a lot of the background processes on your computer that were taking up RAM. And now our CPUs are able to focus on the task at hand. So,
Alam mo, actually, if they listen to our shifts episode, the one before this, is actually
it describes
answering
a lot of those things. Yeah.
this question, like how have we changed? Next, sige, something that's more recent. What is one thing I did that made you feel loved this week?
On Thursday, we just got back from Coron. We were all exhausted. And I had so much to do. And you were, I don't know if you were even sick pa nga kasi parang tulog ka ng tulog nun. And yet, you covered for me the whole afternoon so I could finish my meetings. And then you came down here and you set up the camera so I could record my preaching.
Ako po kasi yung videographer niya.
Yeah.
So, influencer by day, videographer by the afternoon.
Ako yung totoong star sa relationship na to. The star of the stars.
Yung mga stars, sa kanya talaga pumupunta. Char.
I was just like, oh, thank God. Alam mo yun, you were exhausted and so yun.
Oo ha. May diarrhea pa ako nun, guys.
It was so bad. Sira chan mo, you couldn't eat. It's like, sakit naman ang combo na to. Sira na nga chan ko, di pa ako makakain. Alam mo yun. And then, I don't know why you seemed feverish. Thank you. I really appreciated that.
Ako, I guess, I thought you were talking about like the help that you give, which is what you did. Like when my family was just like together the entire weekend and you were willing to just be there as a support. That makes me, ako naman ganun eh. I always feel loved when you are willing to just play support. Do whatever I have to do to make my life better and easier. Parang that's when I feel the most loved, especially by you. Because he's been my driver. He got pasalubong for my family. He took care of the kids. Yesterday, he took care of the dog. Anything that makes my life a little bit easier makes me feel loved. Because I have a lot of like mental and physical load to do in a day as somebody who works and also is a mom to both humans and doggies. If you are able to make that load, at least one of my loads, a little lighter, that makes me feel very loved. So thank you. That is something that he's done for me. I think what highlights that for me as well is that you could have easily complained na wala nang time for us, or like you've overlooked me or our family, ganyan because of your siblings being here. But I didn't hear any of it. I didn't feel any of that too. And he was just happy to help me enjoy my time with my siblings.
Ako, my major win last week was yung bonding namin ng pamangkin mo na naging close kami. Si Pablo.
Okay.
Na hinahanap na niya ako.
That was a highlight.
But yesterday was so stressful. I brought the 9-year-old, the 3-year-old, and one of her colleagues, her 1-year-old kid. So 9, 3, 1, and a dog to the park. And in my mind, 1 bullet for 4 people. No.
Wrong. Age levels, tapos species. Kulang na lang pati frog din, alam mo.
So
tapos,
I got to the park and all 4 of them want to do different things. And then they couldn't get along because of course the 9-year-old just want to do what the 3-year-old, that 1-year-old, the dog wants to do. The dog wants to sniff every dog's butt. Oh my gosh, I was so stressed at the park yesterday. Nota, for the people listening, I think that's a great question to ask one another.
Yeah.
5 stars that question. All right.
Anyway.
Number 3. If you could relive one day of the last year, which one would it be and why?
One is that any one of the campaigns that we've gone on for Lenny, the rallies, because that was like super fun. You get to express the Filipino in you. It doesn't very come often, and I don't really feel that all the time. I don't like being Filipino today, so I can use that to kind of like jumpstart my love for nation. Or like my last day with my ate.
Ano ba yan?
I mean, like that's the last time that I get to be with her.
Ngayon ako yung nagsisi sa tinanong ko.
Yeah, if you were wondering what that was, we had to pull the plug. She was sick and we had to do it. And then we stayed on, because she lives in the States, all of the family here had to stay online with all of the family who were there for like 9 hours with her until she passed.
What happened was, you had a shoot scheduled. So we had a crew in the house.
It's okay, we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Anyway, that day is something.
I'm like, oh man, of all the things you could relive.
Oh yeah, I mean like it's really a painful day, but it also is the last day that I have with her. Ikaw.
Parang babaw tuloy ng akin. Biking in Singapore.
Ay, oo. Gusto ko rin. Paano yun? Gusto ko din yun. Uy, totoo yun. Sobrang fun nun. Anyway, if you guys want to watch that vlog, it's actually up on the channel. Just look for the Singapore
And we're gonna
one.
get to do it again soon.
Yes, we're leaving for Singapore again. That's a shift in me, not you, but I've never liked Singapore.
Yeah.
Then 2022 was the year when I started to like see this is an amazing nation. O, diba? Ang delayed ko na. Anyway,
Please write us. Those of you who are like, what? Ngayon mo lang nag-gets?
Oo. Okay lang. Sabihin nyo ng tanga ko and all. Tanggap natin yan. Next question. What is something we could learn together
In the next year?
In the next year, yeah.
I would have said jiu-jitsu, but Not anymore. I guess we could train for a Spartan race.
Yes! Oh my gosh. That is like one of my goals. Tama, we can do that. That's one thing. My answer would be to bike around Manila at least together. And also, isang naisip ko because of Philip really liking snorkeling and stuff. Do more beach. We actually said this like when we were in Coron. We're like not beach people. For some reason, yung firstborn namin comes alive when he's at the beach. So we kind of have to shift because we're both like we like to hike. We're mountain people. Not really water.
I'm okay with the beach. I just hate getting sunburned. And that hatred multiplied exponentially nung nakalbo ko.
Okay.
Because a sunburned scalp is the worst.
That's something we could. And I also thought about, because we've been researching also about like what age can you begin to actually learn scuba diving, and it's 10 years old. So like it's just 1 year away from the age of Philip right now. So iniisip ko na if when he does that, to revisit and refresher course tayo.
So Spartan, biking, and more water stuff.
Yes.
What's something we stopped doing long ago that you really miss?
Ako siguro, traveling the world, which is kind of what we're doing this year.
Yeah,
Kasi parang nung nag-pandemic, medyo wala ay bumaba yun.
Yeah,
Tapos, puro rin tayo Philippines last year. So, hindi tayo nakapunta sa mga maraming ibang nations. But this year, I'm so happy. We're going to Singapore. Then we're going to Vietnam. Then we've got Fukuoka.
Oh my gosh.
In line. And also, 2 other things that I miss a lot. Hiking, mountains, tsaka camping. Super miss camping talaga.
You know what? 2021, yung marami tayong camping, no? 2022, parang end of March na lang tayo nag-camp. Tapos wala nun.
Yun, I kind of miss doing those things. Ikaw?
I miss having a series we're both into.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And it's a little trickier now because...
We have a dog? Ano?
No, the kids the series we like are a little more sometimes scary.
So we tried Attorney Woo the last time, and then we stopped because there was a part there that was kind of too sensitive for the kids.
Yeah, the suicide.
Oo.
So and
after
Philip had so many questions. Though
like,
he liked
what was he doing?
He liked it, so it was like, okay, we don't want you hearing about all these things naman right now. So that's I miss having a series that we're both into together.
Next. What is one skill that you have always wanted to learn? I'll make a guess. Is it dancing?
Yes. And drawing. If I could just animate, then I think my meme game would just elevate to another level. You know, because I have so many ideas, but they're limited to images other people have created. But if I could just draw, then I could make fun of so many things. What's one skill you've always wanted to learn?
Cooking
You're
or baking.
There.
Yeah, but you know, like skill,
like
not
Martha Stewart level, ganun.
yung parang when you have like leftovers, tomorrow, ano na siya. Masterpiece siya. Yung ganon. Yung ingit-ingit talaga ako doon sa mga taong nagtumingin-tingin lang sa ref nila. Mamaya, oh my gosh, sarap na kinakain nila.
You follow Esther Choi on Instagram?
Yeah, I do.
Diba?
She
Dami
does that,
niyang ganon, yung I just threw these things together, blah, blah, blah. She's like, bakit yung basura niya mas okay pa kaysa sa bagong grocery ko?
So yun yung isa ko. And then the other one is, I'm doing a little bit of it now, but like if I could get it to a point or a level of skill, then I'd be so happy. Cinematography. I just realized that talaga. Like when we were in Coron, I was I would rather take videos of others and pictures of others than me being in them. Yung ganon.
You know what? I was gonna say, I think one reason why TikTok gives you so much life is you have such a hand in the editing of it.
Yep.
Like I can see the joy you have. And dati kasi, the way you would edit your TikToks is whatever you have, you just put it together. Now you're specifically shooting with where you're gonna put it in mind. Like I'm watching you create your establishings and even how you're gonna narrate it. Sabi ko, when I see your narration, sabi ko, I think she wrote this narration way before she had the clips. Like some of these things.
No, I'm not like that.
No, you have the clips talaga.
I think that's another thing about me. I never want to go before the story. I want the story to happen and I will tell it.
I think kung dati ganun siya, mas like one after the other. I feel like it's happening simultaneously in your head with the way that you narrate now.
Yeah. And also, I have like standard shots now. Kasi before, I would just like whatever I find in my phone.
You put it together.
But now,
then
I'm
you
more
narrate.
intentional about the shots I take. And that's also kasi very much me. Like, I like to stitch things together that tell the story.
Yes.
So, I've added quite a number of shots on my list that would help me tell the story better.
Yeah. All right, last question. When did you feel pure enjoyment?
My answer to that would always be, and I feel like this is why I love my family a lot. They are the only bunch of people that I can do nothing with, and I'd be completely joyful and not feeling like I'm missing out on anything. It doesn't have to be productive. Kaya nga, sa kanila lang talaga eh.
It used to stress me out. And now I love it. Kaya nga yung repetition ko sa pamilya mo, si Joe yung lagi natutulog eh. Before, I would be up and awake and trying to over-plan their stuff. But you guys are so good at as long as we're together. Yung ganun.
Yeah. You can just be. I just really change a lot when I'm around like my family. Meaning, I could just lie down and rest and like not do anything. I can even forget about exercising as long as they're around. So I think yun yung ganon sa akin.
Again, I sound so shallow, but I was gonna say when we went snowboarding 13 years ago.
Grabe naman, 13 years ago pa yung last na ganun mo.
No, that doesn't say the last time, but just pure enjoyment, right? Because that, I say that because it didn't go anywhere. We didn't
Bakit
develop.
ayaw mo ba yung nag-try ka ng mamahaling kiteboarding sa Boracay?
That was fun also, but I was getting stressed thinking about how to sustain the hobby.
Yeah, okay, got it.
But yun nga, that time I went snowboarding, the only time that I've ever gone snowboarding, so much fun. I wish I could go back. Once again, recent, pure enjoyment.
Wala kang ganun, no? Kasi parang naisip ko, whenever we climb mountains, parang it's not that for you.
No, it is. I like the difficulty.
Biking is also not that for you. Parang, what is something like that for you ba?
A Leslie Nielsen movie.
Talaga.
The Star of Naked Gun. Basta, stuff like that. Or Kunk on Earth. Yan. I'm so happy. I posted it on my IG and people were responding that they watch it too. Leslie Nielsen, Kunk on Earth, Impractical Jokers.
Meme making. Does that make you feel like I'm being productive and stuff? Yun, baka yun
It's
yun.
art. Excuse me.
No,
It's
I
wonderful.
mean, what I'm
gosh.
saying is that, does it feel like not pure to you? Don't you feel?
Some,
I feel
no,
like you
I have
enjoy
some-
that a lot.
I have some memes that I can't post.
You don't share, but
'Cause
that makes you happy,
they're
right?
too true and they make me happy.
Tingnan mo.
So meme making, good humor, good comedy. Leslie Nielsen, super good. If you can find this, it's his series that inspired Naked Gun. It's called Police Squad. Oh my gosh, just beautiful. Chef's kiss, amazing, exquisite, everything. That I can do that for pure enjoyment.
Okay, nice to
nasulat
know.
pala ako.
All right, and
That's it. This is a shorter episode.
Yep, and that's it. If you guys are looking to follow us, then look us up on Spotify and Apple. That would be Anything Goes with the Bonnies. Same goes for our Instagram account. We'll see you there.